Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Look, if you have a high debt to income ratio, okay, and your credit score is below a 680 and your banks don't want to work with you, I'm going to show you a lender that may be able to help you plus other lenders. Now, who I'm talking about is Achieve, okay? So, Achieve Personal Loans, what they do, they work with people with high debt to income ratio, meaning that if your debt to income ratio is above 55%, majority of your credit unions and banks do not want to work with you, right? So the exception is like with PenFed. PenFed will work with you if you have a 60% debt to income ratio. However, Achieve goes a step further. It's because they will work with you when you have a 70% debt to income ratio, including mortgage. All right. Now, as you can see here, the amount of loans they go from 5,000 up to 50,000. All right. Now, what makes this here so unique is that where a lot of these lenders, again, when you have a high debt to income ratio, even if you have a high credit score, they don't want to work with you. All right. So Achieve looked at that and said, wait a minute, there's a market for us here. So what they decided to do is they got investors together, and you probably don't want to know about the history of it, but at the same time, is that they said, look, we can service these people. As a matter of fact, Achieve used to be Freedom Plus. Okay, so if you're familiar with Freedom Plus, they were consolidated loans. So Achieve rebranded, took over the company and rebranded it, right? Now, here's the thing about it with Achieve, they're going to pull your Experian FICO 8. Okay, so they're going to pull your Experian FICO 8 in order to get you approved. Now, here's what I mean about debt to income ratio because a lot of people don't get it. So say that and they give an example here. So say that your income is 5,000, but your expenses is 3,000. That's a 60% debt to income ratio. Majority of the banks and credit unions don't want to work with you when you're at a 60% debt to income ratio. Okay. So that's the reason why Achieve may be a great option for you. Now, I would tell you the minimum income for you to have in order to get approved with Achieve, the minimum income is usually about $1,000 or more after taxes. Okay, so that's a thing that you have to keep in mind. Now, here's something else in terms of some questions. Are there any hidden fees? Because a lot of people they want to know if there's any origination fees and stuff, but they tell you there's no hidden fees, no early prepayment fees, right? And here was what I was talking about: the minimum credit score being about a 620. So if you're about a 620 on your Experian FICO score, then they will work with you. All right. Now, some people may try to go off of their Credit Karma, but Credit Karma does not give you your Experian score. So that's the reason you can't use Credit Karma. You would have to use Experian, but I'll tell you, I would not even go off of Experian. What I would definitely go off of, I would actually go off of my FICO. And this is the program that I would get. The reason is because they're going to give you your FICO 8, your FICO 9, your mortgage scores, and your trending scores. So that way you actually will know exactly what your real scores are. And the thing about it, like with certain scores, those scores fluctuate, all right, 2 to 3 times a month. Now, one of the things about it with my FICO is they may take longer to update, usually about 25 to 30 days. Now, on a Vantage score that I tell you guys about, they may update sooner. Like I said, if you're using Credit Karma, right, to dispute things and those things come off within 48 to 72 hours, then your credit score is going to go up. But they don't offer Experian. Okay, so Experian.com will give you your free credit score. My FICO, it will give you your free Equifax FICO score. Now, another thing that you do need to know about Achieve is that you have to have at least 3 accounts on your credit file, and they have to be at least 2 years old. So here's the thing about it. If you're rebuilding your credit, you have a thin credit file. I'm going to show you a hack to actually age your credit file. You can come over here to rent reporters, right? So if you're paying your rent, always tell you if you're paying it through Venmo, Cash App or something like that, then I would tell you to go over to plastic.com, and I would set up an account with plastic.com, and I would have Plastic start sending them out a check. I would stop doing a money order and I would start doing the other cash apps or whatever. The reason is that once you have those rent payments reporting on your credit score, not only your credit score can go up over 50 points, but at the same time, by them actually seeing that you are making your rent payments and stuff like that on time, what actually happens is that it makes it easier for you to qualify for a mortgage, especially for you guys that are trying to get into the real estate game. This is how you actually would do it. And also with rent reporters, from the time you actually started paying your rent, that's where they go from. So you've been paying rent with this place for 5 years. They are stated on your credit report. This is how you age in your credit file, that your rent has been paid for 5 years. You've been on time with paying your rents for 5 years. Now they report 2 years, but your opening date is going to say 5 years. This is going to help age your credit file as well. Now, another thing will help age your credit file also is adding on an authorized users. Now, here's the thing about it. I'm gonna tell you guys, do all authorized users not equal. So let me give you an example so you can understand. If you have a family member, right, and they just got approved for a $25,000 credit card, if they add you onto as an authorized user, that's not going to do anything for your credit because it's a new account. There's no data. The data has to be at least 2 years or older in order to qualify. That's what happens with a lot of people when they're rebuilding their credit. They may do a credit sweep and they get everything taken off of the credit file. So now you have this dead file. So then you start adding on these authorized users. But the challenge with these authorized users, again, they can be too new or they can be over that utilization, meaning that utilization is over that 30%. But now I always tell people the utilization, especially when you're trying to age your file, the utilization and trying to build up those points is to actually keep it under 10%, because again, the lower the ratio of the utilization, the higher the credit score. Okay, so that's the reason why you want to do that. Another account that can help your credit file is through Credit Strong, and as you can see, Credit Strong has 3 different accounts that you can actually use. Now, the one for us increasing the points and stuff is the revolving account. Is that what you want to get? All right, I put a link below if you want to take a look at it. But this is the one. Now, I always tell people with Credit Strong, you do not want an account that's over $5,000, because I see people, they would go for accounts that are $10,000 or something like that. And here's the thing about it. When you put that $10,000 maxed out account, that drops your credit score. And a lot of people are not aware of that. So that's the reason I tell people, do not go above that $10,000. Make sure you stay $5,000 and below. Trust me, you're going to get the same results. And for us increasing the points and stuff, the thing about it is going to keep your debt to income ratio down much lower. If you guys cannot get approved through Achieve for personal loans, you may want to check out Net Credit. Okay, and as you can see here, Net Credit, they offer loans up to $10,000, and also you can do a pre-approval. Now, the thing about it, what people don't understand, once you actually accept the loan through Net Credit, what ends up happening is they will do a hard pull on your Experian from that point. But beyond that, they're not going to do a hard pull because they use the third party credit bureaus to verify, just as well as with Achieve. They're going to use third party credit bureaus to check and see if you defrauded them or if you frauding or scamming or something like that. Now, another thing that I would definitely tell you guys to do, go to your HR. If you're working a W-2 job, make sure you go to your HR and you request this W-4 form so they can stop taking taxes out of your check. So that way you can bring home a larger paycheck to pay your bills, and that way you may not have to take out those loans. All right, so that's the reason why I'm always stressing you have access to money. Many people just don't know it or don't realize how they can actually get access to it. And for you guys that are entrepreneurs, then you may want to check out Giggle Finance because they offer loans up to $5,000, and it has nothing to do with the credit. So if you don't have a regular job that shows proof of income, but you do have deposits coming in from your gig, then Giggle Finance may be a good choice for you. And these are the type of businesses they actually work with. And all you have to do is have revenue coming into your bank account. It doesn't have to be a business bank account, but again, I cannot stress this enough. If you're not registered as a business and have an active business bank account and showing payroll, you're leaving so much money on the table, especially when you have bad credit, because there are so many companies out here will work with you, but you have to show proof of income as a business. All right. Now, again, 90 days minimum income, I always tell people, is at least between $1,200 to $1,500 a month showing up in the account. And for you guys that just don't qualify for those type of loans, then you have Viva Payday loans. Okay. Now this is a platform, but you can see they offer the loans from 100 up to $5,000, and you can see the interest rate goes from 5.99. Like I said, this is a platform, but they do work with people with lower credit scores, lower income. Now, again, the minimum income, I always tell people make sure the minimum income is at least $1,000 a month after taxes. Okay. Now, for those of you that may have questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.